You can see that I've set this up where I just put all three of these components in the same file. And as I've mentioned before, you obviously would want to put these in separate files normally. But for the sake of practice, we're just going to keep them here so you can see everything at once. And as you can see in the challenge, all you have to do is convert all three of these functional components to be class-based components. And also there's a small bug inside of this program. So see if you can find it. So now's the time, pause the video and give this a shot. Okay, hopefully this wasn't too difficult. All we're going to do is every time it says function and then the component name, we're going to change that to class. We need to extend React.component, get rid of our curly braces. And then instead of having a bare return here, we need that to be inside of a method called render. I'm going to take this return, put it inside here, fix my spacing. And that's it for the first one. The second one is essentially the same thing, except now we have props. And we have to remember exactly what we're going to do when we have props. So again, function will become class. We'll extend React.component. I get rid of the parentheses. Put my return inside of a method called render. And then the one thing that's always really easy to miss here is that instead of props, it needs to be this dot props because this is a class-based component. This third component looks a little bit more complex, but essentially it's the same thing. Class greeting extends, and now like I showed you in the previous lesson, we could decide just to put component here, which then means at the top we would need to import React and component. And then all of this logic is also going to go inside of the render method. Looks like this component is not using props anywhere, so I don't need to worry about changing that to this dot props. And you can see I still am getting exactly what I had at the beginning. Now hopefully you also notice that there's a bug. Here it says welcome, comma, and then a space with nothing in it. If you didn't do this in the beginning, take a second now to try and figure out why that is. Well, let's look at the component that's in charge of actually displaying this, and that's our header. Here we notice that it's saying welcome this.props.username, but when I am creating an instance of header, I'm not passing it any props. So it's coming in as undefined. So it's coming in with nothing, and I need to actually pass something there. So the prop I'm going to add is username equals, and then we can put whatever we want here. And there we go, that's fixed. Hopefully this wasn't too difficult of a challenge. If it was, then go back through it and try to convert these classes back into functions, and then from functions back into classes. I know that sounds pretty tedious, but honestly, it's one of the better ways to learn. Once you're ready, let's move on.